Alright, so this is another Technique Tuesday. This is a very different take on a card. I did one very similar to this last year, I think is what I figured. But I'm just using scraps. So I have 1/2 inch by 6 inch scraps. I have a 4.5 by 6 piece of paper. I know that seems like a weird measurement. The reason being is I have a 4.5 by 6 inch piece of adhesive tape paper. This is the double adhesive where you peel it off and you can stick stuff on there, and then you can stick it right onto your project, no glue necessary. So we're going to use some of that today. I'm going to start with these two first. This is just white daisy, regular white daisy, and what we're going to do is we're going to make little squares that look like they're floating and individual, and that we picked each one up and glued them on separately, but we're not doing that. We are going to do this easily. So I'm just going to take my papers, and again, these are scraps. A lot of my scraps I keep either 1 inch by 6 inch or 1/2 inch by 6 inch, and the 1 inches you can always cut down, right, to 1/2 inch. But this way I have a really good idea of my scraps. I know exactly what I have, plus I can do really random strip cards. Okay, so I'm going to line that up because I'm going to keep about 1/4 inch in between each one. I'm going to keep this really masculine and do green hues all the way through. I just chose random green paper that I have. In fact, the one that I think I just put down is not pine. I believe that's New England ivy. It looks a little bit like pine. The two are very, very similar. New England ivy is no longer one of our papers. Okay, I'm just going to keep about 1/4 inch in between each one. See, your Versamat's going to be your best friend at this. This way you do keep that spacing pretty tightly all the way across, and it'll be pretty easy to do. Okay, this one is one of the ones from last year's catalog. Let's see, this looks like rosemary to me. It's too dark to be sage. They look very similar too. Sage is just much, much lighter. I like rosemary better than sage, actually. It's much prettier, robust green. I think it's just deeper, is why I like it. Okay, again, 1/4 inch. And I'm just alternating my solids and my pattern papers. Okay, this is from the same collection from last year. Is that more baby-esque paper? I did a scrapbook for my sister-in-law using it. She has a very young kid. In fact, I don't even think she was 1 when I gave it to her. That was her first year, actually. And it was perfect for them, I think. But this will be a really good masculine card, or, you know, for a lady who doesn't like a lot of frou-frou stuff or a lot of fluff or glitter. There are those out there. And for this, I really like the liquid glue because I can adjust. Now, the other way of doing this is doing it on acetate, and that's how a lot of people are doing it. If you have acetate just laying around, then that's cool. Do it. Go for it. I don't have acetate just laying around. So, in fact, I use my acetate, and I'm going to be using it here very, very shortly on a lot of different things. So, and that worked out really well for me. I have 1/4 inch at the end. That's perfectly fine. I'll probably just trim that off on the ones that I do trim. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this on one side of this, and then we're going to cut it. Okay, so it seems a little bit off, but that's okay. We'll we'll get this going. I just want to see which side I had peeled. I always start it because once I tape it, it's like impossible to find a start. And then I end up peeling the wrong side. So peel it first, get it started. You're going to get rid of this part anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's just to help you with where you're going to lay it down. Okay. Now this is always good to have your non-stick shears. Hold on to the one corner while you peel the opposite way. Your non-stick shears, they should let go. There we go. Then I'm just going to line it up and hope for the best. That's pretty close. I'm just going to peel these off. Okay. I'm going to take this and I'm going to just trim this part off. I'm just going to take a little bit off of this one as well. It's not playing nice though. There's my phone. Okay. Yeah, that didn't play nice at all, did it? Well, that's okay. I think we'll be okay. Okay, now I'm going to keep my trimmer out because I'm going to start cutting these at 1/2 inch. Now remember, we already have adhesive on this, so we don't have to worry about adhesive anymore. And it's going to making this card so simple. This is just the background of the card, by the way. This is not the entirety of the card. Not 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. If it would like to play nice, it would be great. Something is a bit sticky somewhere. Let's just rotate it. Maybe it'll play nicer on that side, I don't know. Now you can either measure from this side or this side, it doesn't really matter. We're just going to get all kinds of little strips. And see, there's your squares that are floating in thin air. Now if you want thinner gaps, like 1/8 of an inch, that would probably be really, really pretty as well. The last card that I did like this, there was no gap, and it looked really nice. It's a masculine card last year. I think I did it for somebody's birthday. I don't remember who. Okay, so I have all these nice little strips. Now you are going to need another white daisy, because, or your card base, whatever you feel more comfortable. I like doing it on daisy personally. Yeah, not right on the card base because I hate ruining a card base, cutting it up and having to redo it. Okay, so there they all are, facing the same way. I am going to get, plus I like to mat it, right? Let's see if I actually have one that's the right size. Yeah, that'll work, and then I can mat it. So this is 1/2 inch less than an A2, which is what I like. Now remember, all these have adhesive, and like they're gonna overlap perfectly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually put just a little bit of adhesive on here and stick it down to my Versamat Now this isn't going to be that big of a deal because it's going right onto a mat anyway. You're not going to see that back. Okay. I'm going to peel this off. Now you can do this manually and just glue it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stagger them. Okay, so then I'm going to leave 1/2 inch gap or 1/4 inch gap so that it's even all the way across. And you could either stagger them this way, that much, or I think I'm going to move this half, like a 1/4 of an inch up and over. 1/8 of an inch actually probably would have worked a lot better than these, but that's alright. And then I'm going to go back to how I originally did it. And right now this is like such a huge hit at close to my heart between the makers. I mean, they are just going gaga over this right now. And it's just going to create this really cool, and you can like angle them too, like make them really kind of crazy. Do all kinds of fun things with this. I do like the idea of doing 1/8. If I were you, do 1/8 because it's less of a gap, and I think it'll be like a little bit better. But this is just fine. It's easy to do. It does take a little bit of time, but think about cutting all those 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch squares and taping them down. How much of a pain in the butt that would be, right? Oh my goodness, that would be so bad. Okay, so I have this really cute little card front. Now which one am I going to stick on the back? I don't know. Maybe I'll choose Harbor because it's in there. If you don't know that this is the background is Harbor there. Let me try to get, I think my blade's dying. And if you're like me, you need a new blade. Replace your blade. I probably need one. My poor little trimmer has been working overtime. So is my Cricut. And it just continues. That's okay, it's all fun. So here's the easy peasy card. It actually is really easy, guys. Don't let this fool you. It is easy. It's a bit time consuming, but not that bad. Okay, so I did a little bit bigger gaps than probably what I should have, but that's okay. Now, you just mat it and find a sentiment, and it's pretty much already embellished. I mean, just add a little bit more, I guess. I don't know. Maybe a boot print or something. I have one of those. So, here it is. Hopefully that helped you find another way of doing a card back. Just so you guys can see it up close. There it is. Alright, thanks for joining me for another Technique Tuesday. Bye.